Hello, my name is David Torres, and I am a compulsive gambler. Although I do not make insane bets like Floyd Money Mayweather, I do gamble. Now, the Mayo Clinic defines gambling addiction as the uncontrollable urge to keep gambling despite the toll it takes in your life. Gambling means that you're willing to risk something you value in hope of getting something of even greater value. Gambling can stimulate the brain's reward system, much like drugs such as alcohol. If you're prone to gambling, you may continually chase bets, hide your behavior, deplete savings, accumulate debt, or even resort to theft or fraud to support your addiction. Tonight, I chased a bet. Earlier this year, I made a bet with a friend of mine for $100. The bet was my favorite football team, the Oakland Raiders, against his favorite football team, which happened to be a rival of the Oakland Raiders, that is the Denver Broncos. Now, I lost that bet. The bet was $100. Tonight, I tried to regain that bet by placing another bet against his team, the Denver Broncos, which tonight they played the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. So I suggested let's put that $100 back on the line, thinking, you know what, I can get that money back. So I lost the bet. I thought maybe tonight would be the night that I redeemed myself. Again, I seem to be $100 down. Now my mindset is maybe $200 at a later time I can get that bet back. Now there are many problems associated with gambling. Some may hit me closer to home than maybe it hits others, and some actually don't. But these are also defined here at the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic is a organization that helps addiction. Okay, now it may cause problems with relationships because you may not be spending time with your significant other that she may want because you're, like myself, out there researching football players for your daily fantasy football, or you're looking up information on the internet to find out who's injured, who's not. Is it raining? Is it snowing? What's the humidity like? Is just like when they had Deflategate for Tom Brady, where the balls or the PSI was lower. You want to find some way that you can gain knowledge to help you place that bet and hopefully win that money. In hopes of winning that money, again, you're trying to gain value. Okay, now it may also cause financial issues. Now, if you have the money and you bet, I guess there are no financial issues there. If you don't have the money, you're chasing the bet, then you're going to run into some problems when you can't put food on the table, when there's no groceries, or when, like myself, I'll have a son and he wants a toy, but you know, I ended up betting $100 and I can't get that toy now because I'm down $100. Now, another thing is you can also start to withdraw from loved ones. You sneak around and hide where the money is gone or where you've been, saying something like, I was at the gym, when you may have actually been at a friend's house playing poker. Not saying that I do that personally, but it is something that people do tend to do. Now, some people gamble when you don't have the money and dig a big hole with borrowing money from loved ones to control addiction. The same thing as, say, borrowing money to do drugs. You're borrowing money to try to win a bet or try to make a bet. Now, gambling is referred to as a hidden illness because there are no obvious physical signs or symptoms like drug or alcohol addiction. There's no physical signs. Yes, financial signs, just like drug or alcohol addiction, again, borrowing from loved ones. Now, although there are no physical signs, the addiction reasons are similar. According to helpguide.org, reasons people gamble include providing excitement, you get a rush or adrenaline, to become more social. Some people do it because they're bored, to relax after a stressful day, and this one to solve money problems. You figure you can solve the problem by making a bet. Now, I sometimes feel it's okay to gamble because I have extra money and want to make more extra money. But seems like tonight that backfired. There are many people with a lot of money that have a gambling addiction. Stars such as Ben Affleck, who went to rehab in 2001 for alcohol, as well as a gambling addiction. Shannon Elizabeth, the star from American Pie, she is now a pro poker player now. She apparently runs a gambling ring out of her home. Now, that's according to Ranker.com. Charles Barkley, a basketball star when I was growing up, gambling has cost him over $10 million. Now, that may not be a big hit for him. Maybe like my $100 I lost tonight. Well, if you add the two bets, it's $200. So 10 million may not be much. One of my favorite athletes, Floyd Money Mayweather, is known to make ridiculous bets. In 2012, he bet 1.1 million that number 2 Oregon would cover the 7.5 spread versus Arizona State. He won 1 million. Now I can see that gamble getting you a little bit of adrenaline rush. Now finding someone to gamble with or finding a poker game is not hard to find at all. The internet has brought us online casinos. If you're into slots and roulette, online poker, if you need your fix of Texas Hold'em and can't find 8 friends to play with. And now I have found myself now into daily fantasy football. They have daily fantasy sports, which every day you can basically make a bet on pro players on how they will perform the night. Now, daily fantasy sports is everywhere and highly advertised. You cannot watch a sporting event without seeing a commercial about fantasy sports. You've seen it, FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN, and ESPN is backed by DraftKings. Then you have NFL Network backed by FanDuel, so it's a little hard to not see the or not try to gamble on it. Now, I see the addiction and feel it needs to be addressed, but find it hard to control when it is so widespread and like fantasy football is legal. Now, in conclusion, I do see that with help, it can be kept under control, but it is a little hard to say quit when it's everywhere.